Alright, response video 2. Father Fred. Yeah, we'll use that. Father Fred. Oh, that's pretty funny. Yeah, thanks for the response. Yeah, pretty much the answer I was expecting. The only part that's worse is, I don't know whether you saw that. Look, there's one right there. They're sneaking up on me. They're getting closer and closer. What are you doing? Huh? You should be in school or something, you fucker. Anyway, see my garden. They're right outside my window this morning. I mean, they're just so bold. Ugh, it's insufferable. I'm using that word a lot lately. So anyway, yeah, this whole idea that, what's the deal? I not only have to annihilate this universe, I have to wipe out the one you're living in now too. Oh, it just goes on and on. I thought you said when you're dead, you're dead. It's kind of a contradiction. It's all be over, yes, you just said. Apparently it won't be over. You should be walking around in whatever, some sort of electronic noise universe where, we'll just video at each other forever. But at least, yeah, as you said, ideas are painless. They can just float around. So you can just be an idea then, maybe, huh? I hope. Well, anyway, that's almost worth a subject. The idea of, it'll all be over, like somehow that makes it okay or something. Well, God, I don't think it does. There's a whole big pile of it that still ain't over yet. I still have to step into it before I get to the it's all over thing. I did point out in my Professor Anton video, yesterday I had to kill a chipmunk. And yeah, it's all over now, but it was just, there was a real insanity, possessed mammal, and you're just like, holy shit. I mean, it was just so bad. Anyway, where do I go with that? Yeah, this credibility argument, I guess, is what I wanted to get to, because it was sort of in Professor Anton's video, this idea that it's who's making the argument matters here. And so it's not like, Dad, I'm asking you to, say, oh, I wish I never had kids. Because obviously you grow into it. You grow into that lifestyle. So it's like if I played basketball every day, and I got pretty good at basketball, well, then I'd grow into it. So I'd like to play basketball because I was good at it. That kind of thing. And so you grow into having the kid thing. And so you're not going to say, oh, I regret it. Because you're going to say, well, there's great value in it because I was good at it and I was fun and I had some good memories. But you're also not comparing it to, oh, you mean I would have, had 2-week vacations on the Riviera and I would have been banging some lovelies and, the alternative life, you're not really playing it for yourself. You're really not making a fair comparison. So, that's sort of lame. I don't know if you can do that in your world, where you could just like run the alternative universes and see what your life really would have been. If you would like if you didn't have a kid, you would have got hit by a bus or some kind of silly thing would have happened to you. Just from a basic thing that having me might have saved your life, but only in an ironic, stupid way. But yeah, that's a different subject. So we're back to this credibility thing. Like somehow you have more credibility if you didn't conclude that life was stupid when you're 10 years old and decide not to have kids and not to be a reckless asshole and a sloppy sexual practicer, that somehow you don't have any credibility now. You can't make the argument for antinatalism because, yeah, you made up your mind too soon, too early. So only the people who have regret have a qualified opinion. So that's sort of the catch here. I have to get the Pyros and the Freds not only to say, yeah, well, this idea has some merit. There's some logic in it. I can sort of see that. I sort of have to get them to say it a little more aggressively that, well, yeah, if they had their life to do over again, and with the context of a wiser mind, a more educated, thoughtful, experienced mind, that yes, I would make a different choice. I would not choose to have been a reckless asshole if I knew what I knew now, if I understood really how important it is, what the risks really were, how irresponsible my behavior was, yes, I would augment it. If I had my current knowledge then, I would have changed. I would have behaved differently. That's kind of what I need you to say. I mean, I know it's hard for you to say things, from where you are, but, maybe you can do a video. I mean, maybe it works both ways. I mean, we just won't tell anybody that it works both ways. You can make a video and just pretend. I can upload it on my channel if that's the way it has to be. But anyway, yeah, and maybe just make that thoughtful statement that as an older, wiser man, you can tell people that this is kind of a big decision to make. It will control your life, and it may control it in very negative ways. And there is a huge risk, and it is a huge imposition. You're deciding for somebody else that your value system is good, that you can decide for them that this game is worth playing, that it has a function and a use that they'll find utility in. Just to highlight the idea that, this isn't something to play around with. That, no, you got to take it seriously. And either have kids on purpose or you don't have kids on purpose. But you do either one of those things on purpose. You don't have accidents. Okay? You avoid those. Either in your heart of hearts, in your mind of minds, that life, no matter what the circumstance, is worthy of being imposed, or you believe there's good reason for caution, and that you should be as damn careful and precise in your strategic launching of the good ship New Baby as possible. That you just can't build it, fly it around in a pond a little bit, decide it's seaworthy, and then watch it sink, after it hits the iceberg. That's kind of bullshit. Yeah, because you can't buy insurance against this. There is no capacity to do a retake. There's no redoing it. There's no do-over. There's no eraser. All right, once you've initiated it, the ball will roll. And you got to be a little bit careful about what it's going to roll on top of. You got to be mindful and respectful of that. So anyway, a little bit of that kind of preaching from Father Fred would be appreciated, because that's all you can really give me now. I mean, like I said, you can't get me out of my dilemma. I'm stuck. I'm just a ball rolling now. But you could help by just kind of rolling in my direction a little. Knock down some of the trees in my way. Because apparently that is valuable to some people. They need to hear that from people who have played the game the wrong way. They need to say it. I played the game the wrong way. I played it as an ignorant fool, and I can't excuse it. And you don't want that kind of regret. I mean, what? I don't want you to feign regret you don't really have. That would be, a lie. And maybe you don't have any regret. Maybe it doesn't trouble you at all. And I guess that's part of the truth. So if that's the truth, that's the truth. But if it does bother you a little, if it does rub you a little the wrong way, that this life game is played this way, that you're given the keys to the car just a little too soon, and you make these really big mistakes that we really should try to make less likely. We really should do we need some kind of training wheels, to place on people, some sort of moral, ethical, lifestyle discipline, that will, mitigate against this idea that a lot of people don't figure out their assholes until it's a little too fucking late. Oh, excuse me. So, yeah, that's my request. But yeah, no, it's good seeing you. I didn't even know you're dead. So that's pretty cool. I hope it went okay. And such, you look a little shorter than you used to be, but, whatever. Age. Yeah. Yeah, my father never really had facial hair either. I think once he grew a mustache for like 3 weeks. Everybody laughed at him. And that was the end of that. Yeah. But you do talk like him. It's close enough. I mean, you sound kind of like him. Except, he was Canadian, but he never really had that Britishy accent thing. Didn't really have an accent. Yeah, he always kind of just spoke English from what I remember. Yeah. Yeah, so, but anyway, yeah, it is good seeing you. Let's see. I thought I talked to you on the phone the other day, but I don't know. Maybe I'm just confused. I don't know. Yeah, you're a lot older, on the phone. But no, just to be, as a joke, my father. I keep thinking the Monty Python thing. When they're bringing out the dead, and the old guy is saying, "I feel fine." I'm doing better. My father's sort of like that. He's 90-ish. And he's, he does this walking thing every day. He already broke his hip once. But he's just kind of like, I'm doing good. And he is doing good. I mean, he's got all his marbles still. But he's fucking 90. I mean, come on. This car is going to run out of gas. And it just seems like, they're always never prepared for it, old people. It's just like they just wait for it to happen. And then it's a big mess. And it's like nobody seems to have any kind of path, any kind of, it's like you should start your life on training wheels, and you sure should end your life on training wheels, because they're just kind of a disaster waiting to happen. And I'm laughing about it only because, my father's done really well in his retirement, good health. He's had a really nice golden years. And so there's really nothing to weep about the fact that it's coming to an end. Because he got the most. He really did play the life game and suck it for its value. Really did. But he concedes the kid thing was kind of a mistake. I mean, he could have gone traveling around the world and had all kinds of interesting adventures. I mean, he did have some of those. But, obviously he could have done it all the time. Instead of, listening to a bunch of brats in the back seat of the car bitching and complaining. So, let's see where else to go with this. But yeah, I've got the concession out of him that he didn't make a reproductive mistake like, oh, I didn't know penis vagina meant baby. His mistake was, he was, it was the 50s and this is what people did. They, have kids. It's just what everybody does. So he had them. And, unfortunately he was the last of his name. And so he sort of had this notion in his head too about having a son. So, they were going to have 2 kids, but they had 2 daughters. So they went for the son thing. And they ended up with twins. So, 4 kids. So that was a kind of a, 4 kids in 4 years. Kind of a hassle. Yeah, a little bit. And then, we got the defective son out of the game. The son with completely opposite values. But, we had good times. On the weekends, fishing and golfing and such. So, let's see if we can wrap this up for now. It's just, you can't have too much conversation with your own kind, that kind of run out of conversation, start talking about how well the grass is growing, or, how bad the, whatever, weevil beetles are this year, or some other kind of crap. It always kind of is kind of funny, that you could, spend literally decades living with somebody, or years anyway, and in the end, you really don't have a goddamn thing to say to each other, which is kind of funny. Hilarious. Just another one of those little hindsight imbecilities of life, where if somebody told you before you had the kid how it's all going to end up, and that 70 years later you'd be talking about how well the lawn is growing, maybe you'd say, yeah, well, that's sort of not really worth it. Let's screw that. Yeah, that's if everything goes good, you know. I mean, if you don't have to watch somebody die horrible and suffer, then that memory will be stuck in your head. I have that problem. And I had a great relationship with somebody for 20, 30 years. And, they died of Alzheimer's. It happened early, 65-ish, 70-ish. And it all went to hell. And all I got stuck in my head is the end. I got the last 4 years stuck in my head because it was horrible and awful. And that's the memory I'm stuck with. I can't even hardly remember the good times without that ghost of the hellish end flooding on top of it. And so what's the value in that? I've made this argument before, but I'll make it again. My grandmother lived to be 107. For 103 or 4 years, she had a damn good life. She was functional. She washed dishes, she could clean house, she could, she was a participant, she was in the game. I think, when she was 104, she kind of had to do the wheelchair thing a little bit. But she did really well, all the way up to, say, 103. But the last 4 years were just crap. Bedridden crap. And the end was just nightmarish, hellish, hospital torture chamber bullshit. Or the day she died, they were strapping her on a gurney, strapping her against her will, to do diagnostic tests. Diagnostic tests. She's 107 years old, and they're doing diagnostic tests, tying her down to do it. So I mean, if I was going to argue that I could give her the choice to relive her life, but she had to live those last 4 years all over again, I don't know. I know I wouldn't, for any life, live those 4 years. But I'm just saying, I don't think she would take that as a bargain. She'd say, no, if that's the way I have to end, fuck it. I mean, it was good, but I ain't paying that price twice. I ain't buying that bill of goods twice. You can't feed me that poison twice. That kind of argument. So, anyway, I guess we're about done. But thanks for the video. And really, it does sort of piss me off that I have to first fix this world, and then I get to your world, and I'm sure you fucktards have that thing running like a piece of shit too. So, I mean, god damn it. This really is irritating. So, yeah, you people all suck as janitors. Anyway, till next time, and so forth, whatnot, and such. Yeah, this really is good enough.